Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today we are looking at the ship that is in the current Blitz Pass, which you can purchase for money. So what do you get for that money besides all the resources? Well, you get this. And this is the Black Leander. The collector's edition tier 6 British light cruiser. Now, let's begin by looking at the tech tree Leander, which is obviously a thing, and compare her to the Black Leander. Leander was kind of the last British light cruiser that I liked until we got to the Neptune. I wasn't a huge fan of the Fiji and the Edinburgh, mostly because, well, I think at the time when I played, I wasn't super familiar with how to aim the armor piercing to actually make it effective. And the reduced number of torpedoes was really starting to hurt. But generally, British light cruisers are effectively oversized destroyers. So let's compare the Black Leander to the Leander. Now, it's not going to be a huge difference because it's a black ship. The Leander gets 2 smoke screens and single-fire torpedoes. The Black Leander gets 3 smoke screens and single-fire torpedoes. But there's a catch here, because the Leanders are regular smoke screens. Smoke screen lasts for 24 seconds. The Black Leanders are fuel smokes. They only last for 10 seconds, but you can take them with you. So this is the it's the Italian cruiser gimmick thing that we're starting to see coming up quite a bit. Other than that, the hit points and armor are completely identical, so is to maneuverability. The guns on the Black Leander turn ever so slightly faster, but it's really not going to make much of a difference. The torpedoes have a bit better range, which is nice, which is really nice. So even if it's just 0.3 kilometers, having a bit more range on the torpedoes is not a bad thing, especially that you actually are going to be playing the ship in a more mobile way. You're not going to be sitting in your smoke screen, lobbing torpedoes or turning in your smoke screen, but you can actually take it with you. So you can do a full turn, cover yourself on the smoke screen, get the other side of torpedoes around, because you only get 2 quad sets of torpedoes. And once again, like I said, these are destroyers, more like. Anti-aircraft gun is the same, and she gets a better concealment. So she's slightly better in terms of stats, and the huge difference is that she gets a fuel smoke instead of the regular smoke screen, which has ups and downs, right? The downside is that it only lasts for 10 seconds. The upside is that you can use it while you're running at full speed, which you're going to have to because it only lasts for 10 seconds. Then again, you are playing at tier 6. So mid-tier games tend to be special, let me put it that way. Now, equipment-wise, you probably want the main battery mod 2 to get the reload down, you want the propulsion mod, and you want the steering gear mod for better steering. I have put a level 6 commander in here. There's nothing special. I've just pulled him off the regular Leander, which is the setup that you would eventually want for a commander that goes down the line, because you're going to get defensive A and stuff later on, but for now, none of these skills is going to make much of a difference. Effectively, obviously what you would want on a regular cruiser is the Mistweaver skill, which I think affects the fuel smoke, but because the fuel smoke only lasts for 10 seconds, you're probably going to get 1 more second or so out of it anyway, but that's something I haven't even tried out yet. You can get a historical camo for the Black Leander, which gives you firing range, torpedo range, traverse, and surface detection, which I think is probably going to be the exact same thing as on the regular. Yeah, exactly. So you can. It's not a bad choice, but for today, we're going to stick the Seaborne Assault on, obviously, and just get ourselves into some games. Let's see how it turns out. Our first battle is on Golden Channel. Oh dear. And we're bottom tier. So this could go either way. We do have a Warspite and a Fuso to worry about, but the other things are mostly stuff we can probably deal with. Now, mid-tier Golden Channel is always exciting because generally people tend to ignore that circle in the center and make it their life's mission to never ever get their ship into it. which is obviously counterproductive to actually winning the game. Now, one thing that's really nice about British light cruisers, if you have never played any, is that just like the British destroyers, they get single fire torpedoes, which in mid-tier is extremely useful. So the Icarus, for example, that one feature makes the Icarus one of the best mid-tier destroyers in random battles, because people just don't know how to dodge torpedoes. And you can get them all on target at long range, because you can fire them all in a single line. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a good tactic, but we are going to head ourselves into the capture circle. We do have a smoke screen in case we need to bugger off on the quick. But so far it seems that we have the cap. And to my great surprise, the destroyers are in the capture circle. I mean, obviously the battleships don't want to have anything to do with it. So let's start opening up that Shiratsuyu over there and see if we can bully him out of the capture circle. Now I am giving broadside here, but there's nothing really there that can punish me at this range too much, because nothing's going to have the actual accuracy. Getting ready for a quick getaway if I need to, if I come under fire, but so far it looks like no one is really doing very much at all. So the Shiratsuyu has lost 1/3 of his health, and there comes a very optimistic Farragut who wants to get into the capture circle. Now I am starting to take fire, but they might as well been shooting at the Westeros over there. So I'm dropping some torpedoes in the general direction of where the Farragut probably is going to come in, while dodging shells from left, right, and center. And then we'll see if he has any funny ideas. Someone is definitely in the capture circle. Now the Warspite is there. Sorry, Westeros, would you mind? I'm trying to get back in the capture circle. So we do have to watch out a little bit, but he's not shooting at me. There's a Belfast I can start shooting at. And oh, there's that Farragut. Okay, so he is very, very optimistic about his chances to come around here and start bullying people, because the rest of my team is pretty much not in here, but I think he's going to run into all these Westeros torps. Well, not all of them. That was a pretty good dodge. It's a very nimble little destroyer, but this problem obviously now is that he is chasing after a Leander, which has 150mm main guns. And even if she wanted to, couldn't be firing high explosive at him. So I'm just going to have to dodge the torpedoes if the Farragut ever has any ready, but this is now a very dead Farragut, which leaves the Warspite and the Belfast. Now Belfast is obviously a bit of an issue, and Warspite is not something I would necessarily want to tangle with. So we're going to be running a little bit around here first. Now that we've dealt with the Farragut, we do need to capture though, so it'd be great if we could get back in the capture circle. There's a Shiratsuyu, but you know, there's plenty of people here to deal with that thing, or just to absorb his torpedoes. Let's see if we can get the Belfast pushed away, such that our destroyers get a little bit braver, because they really shouldn't be afraid of the Warspite in any way whatsoever. I mean, there is a carrier, so that's not to be underestimated, but we'll help. And we are giving broadside to the Warspite, which is okay, because he's on the other side of the map. And the Fuso is behind an island, so we're probably good in this regard as well. We're just going to watch out and bully the Belfast out of the circle. Okay, we'll drop some general torpedoes in the direction of the Fuso, such that he doesn't get any funny ideas. Shiratsuyu has run into an island over there. It's classic mid-tier battles. Our Westeros just got murdered by the carrier. So yeah, we are helping as much as we can. I try to give you air cover, but I don't have much in terms of AA. Just there are more torpedoes, but I think the Fuso has been dodging my torpedoes, which is okay. They would probably not have had range anyway. They're 6.6 kilometer, but yeah, I'm trying to give air cover here as much as I can, and the carrier is actually being useful in Vector's fighter across us as well. So now nobody is interested in the capture circle anymore, so we can just stay with that, and because they have been killing things over at the eastern end, but yeah, everybody's bimbling about outside the capture circle, as is common in mid-tier battles, so we'll just be shooting at the Fuso. Now, if you're shooting at battleships, you do need to hit the bow or the stern. You can hit the superstructure, but more often than not, you'll be hitting either the belt or the turrets. You're not going to do anything with the 150mm. I'm pissing on that. But everybody's ganging up on that Fuso, so I'm on my head back into the capture circle, just in case anybody gets any funny ideas. And, oh, the Aoba is still alive. Okay, now let's see if we can do something about that. I'm not sure what he's doing back there, but, I mean, it's not that we had a ship back there, I think. I might be mistaken. So, just put in reverse, just in case the Aoba has torpedoes away. But I should be at the limit of the Alba's torp range anyway. And I think the Westeros secures the kill. There's the Ryujo. Nobody's capping, and I think they have lost at this point because we're just killing everybody. So once again, air cover to the Westeros if we need. It looks like the carrier is not interested. There are Alba torps, but I don't think they have range. And a nice citadel on the Ryujo, but we are getting shot at by that Warspite, so even though I can't quite see him right now, okay. And there's the Belfast. Let's drop some torpedoes in the Belfast general direction, because he's going to have something to say about the Westeros. Okay, shots out, but I think the Westeros takes the Ryujo as well. Nicely done. So this is one of these moments where you need your fuel smoke. Now, the Warspite's coming here. I am going to be temporarily giving broadside to the Warspite, which is why I'm using my fuel smoke as to cover my turn. And once my fuel smoke is expired, which is now, I can now go and chase after the Belfast without having been obliterated by the Warspite. Which is exactly what you want. So that's donking some torpedoes into the Warspite. Belfast is round about there, yeah. Now the Belfast obviously doesn't know what he's doing because he's firing high explosive at an extremely lightly armored cruiser, so I don't have to be afraid of giving a bit more broadside. And he doesn't have any torpedoes, so this is still not necessarily a fight that I'd easily take. But, you know, if you can see what the other player is doing and he didn't dodge my first salvo of torpedoes, so he's not going to dodge my second one. I am down to 1900 hit points, so his next salvo is going to kill me, but I'm probably going to be torping him before that happens. There you go. Okay. Dead Belfast. Don't take that personally, by the way. It's just, you know, everyone learns. But yeah, if you're in a Belfast, and now we're just trying not to die to the Warspite. If you're in a Belfast, while we're distracting him from the Miyoko right in front of him. Well, if you're in a Belfast and you're shooting at something like a light cruiser, use your armor piercing. Especially at this range. He would have citadeled me and probably killed me before I killed him if he had used the armor piercing. And yeah, that was the typical Golden Channel battle in Tier 6. Now, you'd be saying, the Leander, isn't that a great ship? I mean, you're doing, what am I doing, 70,000 points of damage? Yeah. And that's not because the Leander is a great ship or because I'm a great player. That's because it's Tier 6. And you know, you just get the most hilarious encounters. So let's do another one. And we're top tier for a change. It's Big Race Domination. Now, you can't take it for granted that you always run into people who are quite new to the game in mid-tier. Occasionally, you find people who actually know what they're doing. That does happen. It's Big Race Domination. We're up against New Mexico, Double König, Alba, Omaha, Fubuki, and Ernst Gede. So let's... We're small, we're quick, we are reasonably well concealed, we have a smoke screen. I'm going to head over to C-Cup just to secure that, because you'll often find teams ignoring C-Cup, especially if you only have battleships spawning on the right flank, because it is quite out of ways. And battleships at mid-tier tend to be on the slow edge. So if you're unlucky and you grab C-Cup in a battleship, and the enemy team is focusing A and B, or especially A, then it can be quite difficult to actually get yourself back into the battle, because if you're only doing 20 knots, then it'll take a while. But well, I'm not a destroyer, but I'm still doing 33 knots, so I can actually head over to C-Cup, secure that, and then see what kind of flanking shots we get out into B, because we can cover all of B with our guns, which is always nice. And yeah, just secure some points income. So let's see what we're going to be running into. You do run occasionally into some people from the enemy team who have the exact same idea, in which case you can still disengage and run back to B if you want to. But I do have actually 2 battleships right behind me, which seems a bit overkill, because no one is actually spotted around here. I'm not sure what they're pinging there. There's nothing there. I'm capping C. C is not being contested. The destroyers have gone A and B, which is obvious because they've been capped. So no, there's nobody there. There's the Fubuki, so there might be torpedoes in the water. So let's introduce him to my 150s and just send some general torpedoes in his direction, just to make sure he doesn't come around here and does anything nasty to the battleships. Where are the Fubu torps? They should be coming around across my bow any minute. Yep, there they are. Now I am getting shot at by things, obviously, but Fubuki has been deterred, so let's shoot a little bit at the König. Now, the thing with the British light cruisers is that you don't get high explosive, and you'd think, how can you do damage to anything? Well, you can, even to battleships. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but you will be able to full pen the superstructure. So if you're staying at range, eventually you'll be wearing those guys down. I'm using my first smoke here because that König has been focusing on me and I do want to get a full turn. And there's another König there as well who keeps looking at me funny. Now he's shooting at someone else. Okay, good. So smoke screen is expired. That König isn't shooting at me. So I mean, look at that, right? You are doing damage. It's not fire damage. Oh, Fubuki. Hello. So there we go with that one. And against destroyers, the 150mm armor piercing is actually quite useful. Okay, he ran into the island. There come his torpedoes. He still hasn't learned that I know how to stop my ship when I need to. So let's see if these torps can catch him on the turn, but he's running into the whole soup of them. By the way, that torpedo stutter bug is being worked on. We have reported that. So, oh, he just outruns my torp. Damn it. That was so close. Okay, so he's running behind the island. So, but I've got C cap secured. I've got B cap secured. So let's head over to A, and just wiggle the ship around. Not give broadside to the König if he wants to shoot at me. What is there? There's a reasonably low health Omaha, but I'm not sure I can actually hit him from this range. They are killing that battleship that was sailing all the way over to A cap. I just bounced something off an Omaha. I'm not sure how I managed that. Okay, there's the König again. And just dodge those shots. Yeah, I got a couple of over penetrations. It's actually reasonably difficult for battleship armor piercing to citadel these light cruisers if you're not hitting them in the front, because they're so easy to in the center, because they're so easy to over penetrate. Okay, let's get the left side torpedoes away against the König and then use the smoke maybe to just do a full turn. Okay, that's 4 torpedoes away. Fuel smoke up so he can't see me anymore. And then I want to turn in front of the island and then get my other side of torpedoes away. And there we go, and lined up, and shots out on the König. So that's 8 torpedoes incoming, and I've got an island once my smoke is expired between myself and these nasty guns. And there's the Fubuki again. Hello. Okay, that's the König down. That Omaha is on really low health, so let's see if we can get him as well. Just to remove some guns from the game. Yeah, there we go, double strike. And now we've got an Alba to shoot at, so there might be torpedoes in the water. There come some torpedoes. I don't know if this was Fubuki or Alba torps, but I'm keeping the island between myself and whatever is remaining. There's a New Mexico. Now we are 300 points ahead and 2 kills ahead. So, the New Mexico does some damage here, but still not as devastating as it could have been. Just waiting for my fuel smoke to come off cooldown and see if we can do something about the New Mexico. We do have to probably dodge some Alba torps as well. Okay, let's angle in and use our left side torps against the Alba, just in case he is turning, I think. Okay. I'm not sure if he's slowing down, so I'm dropping some torpedoes. The New Mexico is definitely shooting at me. So the idea here now is to use the fuel smoke and turn right. Unfortunately, at this turn left. Unfortunately, at this particular moment, the Fubuki shows up. So there's going to be Fubuki torpedoes away, which means I have to turn the wrong way around, which means my torpedoes are not going to be ready because I've just fired them against the there come the Fubuki torps. I would have run straight into those. Which means I am now, unfortunately, in a very bad position because that New Mexico now actually has a good range on me. So I might be dead here, but I'm gonna get some. He's accelerating, gonna get some torpedoes away at him. See if I can get myself behind the island before he can reload. I just ran into it. That was unfortunate. Okay, let's see if we can turn around before the New Mexico is gonna be obliterating me here because I'm down to 5,000 hit points. That is 4 torpedoes on the New Mexico, but yeah, he takes me out. Okay. This should be alright. We're 300 points ahead, and I have secured all the capture circles. And I have bullied the New Mexico out of the capture circle as well, because there's a destroyer coming too. So let's see if the Icarus can finish off that New Mexico. I have made a little bit of headway, but we are... Yeah, the Fubuki suicides against the Iron Duke over there. And I think the Icarus has missed all those torpedoes. But the New Mexico is conspicuously trying not to get anywhere near the capture circle, because, why would you want points in a game that wins when you're having 1,000 points? And is managing to sail through that very slim gap between the island and the capture circle, which means my cap against him actually remains. So now the Icarus is a little bit in trouble, because the New Mexico is going to be able to take him out if he's not careful, because he's way too close. I'm not sure why he's still there. He could have just stealth torpedoed him, but he wants to use his guns, but at least he manages to keep the New Mexico out of the capture circle. Okay, Icarus is dead. All right, 2 ships left. We've got Bayern and some cruiser there. I think they can manage not to die in the last remaining seconds here. And because we have single-handedly secured all 3 capture circles, we are, even though it's even on ships, winning comfortably on points. Once again, mid-tier battles. So, the Black Leander, is it a must-have ship? Nah. You can just take the Tech Tree Leander. It's just as good, honestly. Or bad. It's not a great ship, but it works in mid-tier reasonably well. And the thing with the regular Leander is that you actually get a reward for playing it, which means it's getting you a step closer to the Neptune and the Minotaur, whereas the Black Leander doesn't do that. So it's not a bad ship, right? Because mid-tier. But it's not necessarily a must-have in my personal book. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.